This video is on order of operations with whole numbers and grouping symbols. This is kind of order of operations taken to the next level. And we're going to still obviously follow order of operations. If you are familiar with Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, those are order of operations. If you aren't familiar with those, I have listed them at the bottom of the screen. There are 4 different levels. You approach them 1 first, 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th last. Those are also listed on your formula sheet, so you can access those. You just need to find them on your formula sheet. I like to list order of operations out to the side, parentheses or brackets first. In this particular title, they're referring to parentheses and brackets as grouping symbols. Okay, so that first level is not only parentheses, but the brackets that you see here. The parentheses are the curved lines, and then the brackets are the more rigid right 90-degree angle. These are the brackets. Okay. So parentheses and brackets first. Exponents is the second level of operations. Multiplying and dividing, or dividing and multiplying, whichever comes first. And then addition and subtraction, or subtraction and addition, whichever comes first from left to right. Okay, so we're going to start with our parentheses and brackets first. You see brackets here and parentheses even with inside those brackets. And when you're trying to make a decision, do I do parentheses or brackets first? You do whichever one is the innermost. So in this particular problem, you have brackets, but the parentheses are inside those brackets. So we will start with the parentheses first. 19 minus 1 is 18. And then you're going to bring everything else down. Okay. The parentheses, 19 minus 1, close parentheses, does not come down because all of that is tied up in the simplification 18. We're not quite done with the parentheses and brackets step, the grouping symbols. We have to do what's in the brackets first as well. So within the brackets, you actually have 2 operations, division and addition. And in order to decide which one you do first, you treat what's inside the brackets like its own little mini problem. So division is going to win out over addition, not because it comes first from left to right, but because it's first in order of operations. So we're going to do 18 divided by 9, which is 2. And then rewrite the problem, bring everything else down. So now our problem reads 4 times brackets, 2 plus 3, close brackets. Again, we still have to simplify what's in brackets first. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And now that there's only one number within the brackets, we can just drop the brackets off, okay? So we have officially finished the first level of operation, the parentheses and the brackets, the grouping symbols. Next would be exponents, but we don't have any, so we'll cross those off. And then we're multiplying or dividing, whichever comes first from left to right. And there's only one operation, which is multiplication. So 4 times 5 is 20. This somewhat intimidating original problem simplifies all the way down to one number, 20. Okay, let's try again with our second problem. We're going to list out those order of operations, grouping symbols, parentheses or brackets, exponents, multiply and divide, or divide and multiply, whichever comes first from left to right. And then your 4th level, add and subtract, or subtract and add, whatever comes first from left to right. Okay, so starting off with brackets and parentheses, can you tell me what you start with first? We're going to start first. Inside those brackets, you have a parentheses. So we're going to start with what's inside the brackets, inside the parentheses. So first step, 19 plus 13 is 32. And then you're going to bring everything else down. The parentheses and what's inside it is gone because we did simplify that. But everything else is going to come down. Okay. Brackets are still there on that first level of order of operations. So within the brackets, divide and subtract, we're going to do division first and then subtraction, just like it's its own little mini problem. Okay. So 32 divided by 4 is 8, and then bring the rest of the problem down. The subtraction part of the problem is still within the brackets, so the subtraction is going to be done before the multiplication, which might seem strange because multiplication comes before subtraction, but because the subtraction is still in the grouping symbols, the brackets or the parentheses, it gets priority over anything else below. Okay. So 8 minus 1 is 7. Now that there's only one number in the bracket, we can drop the bracket off. So last step is 7 times 3 is 21. Make sure that you use your formula sheet when you're using order of operations. If you have any additional questions about these two examples, be sure and ask your teacher for clarifying the questions that you have. Thank you.